Hey, good morning. 7:30. Let's go ahead and get right into it with our next in-studio guest, Democrat Senator Sabina Perez. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Chris. It's great to be here and to also wish you well.
Well, first of all, it's great to have you in here in person. I know that we've been doing the Zoom thing for a couple years.
Yes, and good morning to Guam as well. Yeah, it's great to have a better audio, I think.
Right, yeah. I don't know where she Zooms from, but we always make a joke about her audio. It's always a little like, we figured it out last time, though.
Yes.
I think we did.
Yeah, I had it turned up too much.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just start if you just want to go round robin on what you got going on at the legislature, and then we maybe talk a little bit about that Guam EPA interview. So take it away, Senator Sabina Perez. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. So one of the agencies that I oversee is, of course, Guam EPA. Right. And there's a bill currently, we had a public hearing for it. It's a zero waste bill. And we just recently had a meeting with the consultants who are going to update their zero waste master plan so that we can hopefully achieve a 50% reduction in waste stream going to our landfill by 2030. So that's a pretty aggressive goal, but it's in line with what US EPA has. But considering that almost 50% of our trash is biodegradable, there's a potential to actually compost, use composting technology, which has been around for ages. Right. And then also plastics has been an issue too. So those are the two areas that I think we can focus on.
50% waste reduction by 2030, right?
Yeah.
So have we made is there any data relative to how much waste reduction we've accomplished like in the last 10 years?
Yeah, so there has been data in regards to recycling. We were able to reach up to about 39% or roughly around there. I think
39% of what?
Recycling.
Okay.
I think pre-pandemic, but it's decreased since, and I think a lot of that has to do with the changes in the markets in regards to receiving of plastics. So the zero waste bill would actually help to provide localized solutions, and there's been a lot of innovation we've seen, presented throughout the years to repurpose the plastic. But I think ultimately, the long-term approach, we need to reduce our use, and so there's something called extended producer responsibility that can help.
What is
basically what it does is the manufacturer has to be able to reduce their waste in packaging.
So you're starting at the root of the problem with the manufacturing. They have to reduce it.
Yes,
nice.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
How crucial, how key do you think the plastic ban is in reducing the waste stream, and do you think that we've already seen an impact from that?
I think so. I see less plastic trash floating around. I mean, outside. So I think it has an impact. But again, I think enforcement needs to happen because they have been banned. I mean, I'm still seeing some vendors that are using the plastic bags, and I do want to give kudos to those businesses that are complying. Right. They've come up with reusable options in addition to so all restaurants can use paper bags.
Yeah, I want to recognize the restaurants that have also made it. Can they still use plastics for takeout?
No.
So
that's
can anybody?
banned.
Nobody.
So for takeout, it's banned.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody can use plastic bags in any way, shape, or form anymore.
So there are exemptions,
okay.
And that's if they're meat. If you're packaging the meat within the store itself.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know I ask you this every time. It's like I forget. So the little bags that you put your meat in, so because you don't want the meat juice to get on your tomatoes, those are okay.
Right. Or even like your produce, that you can still use those plastic bags that are encasing the individual components, or baked goods in the bakery. But when they put another bag over that, or it can't be a plastic bag.
People have been obviously there's grumpy people who don't agree with the plastic bag ban, but I think for the most part everyone, I mean, what are you going to do? You just have to comply.
Yeah, so plastic, takes forever to break down, and when it does, it's microplastics. It gets into the food chain, which affects our health and the health of our ecosystem. And so we really need to move away from this. And it's really a byproduct of oil, and that's another issue. Is we have to move away from the use of oil within, on Guam to build more resiliency. We're seeing huge changes in the price of oil and the cost of electricity. So, this is something that I'm committed to working on, is ensuring that we have policies and practices in place to build that resiliency.
You just said two words I don't like hearing, power increase. Your reaction, I guess, to the latest power increase. I know they voted on it last night, approved it.
Right. It's definitely, we need relief, and I'm glad that Guam Power Authority is reaching out to the governor regarding use of available funds.
70 million, right?
Yeah, I think we need to do that. We need to put more money towards relief. I had constituents come in, saying their power bills have gone up, $300, $500. So it's, and when I look at my own power bill, I'm and utility bills actually in general, it's quite, it's shocking. And so we need to, I guess, keep at bay these increases, whether it's power or water, and find other solutions. So actually, thankfully, the infrastructure bill has provided some monies, perhaps looking at that too as well, to repurpose those monies, reallocate those monies. So one good thing is that so Guam EPA or GWA is able to receive $26 million more. So when it comes to water, and they're utilizing that for very important capital improvement projects. Replacement of water lines, replacement of sewage lines.
Right. Oh, by the way, sorry, Senator. There's a water line work being done in Pago Bay. I'm sorry, sir. I had a guy call in, older gentleman, asked me to get that info. And so, yes, they are working on a main water line in Pago Bay. Sorry, Senator. Let me just get this out. And the outage is expected to last until 9 in the morning. Again, capital improvement projects, Guam Waterworks Authority. You believe that's going to bring rates down?
It would prevent the increase of rates, because
see.
every time we need to do capital improvement projects, they have to borrow money, and that comes at a premium cost. And so what I've been seeing is that it doubles the cost, and all of that has to go to the way we pay for that is by increase in rates. And so this $26 million for the next 5 years is going to pay for at least, I think, 20 different projects, if it gets approved by US EPA. So that's really critical. That's what I've been advocating more from the GWA, which I oversee, is get more fund grants. We need to get those grants, because really there's no caps. That's the other issue. There's no caps on how much these utilities can borrow, which means we're going to see increasing rates. And that's something I think we need to take a look at, in capping, just like we have debt ceilings for the government. We can't go over a certain amount. Why can't we do that for the utilities too?
Joey Duenas, CCU, said something. There was actually a angry ratepayer who showed up at last night's meeting. I think it was, that looked like Mr. Kiko Haitin of Jotnia Rules. But Joey Duenas had said something along the lines of, hey, we've tried our best to keep the base rate down, but we can't control all these other rates that are relative to the cost of fuel. And he said, hey, it's like if you don't gas your car, you don't drive your car. If we don't, pay for this oil, we're not going to have power.
Yeah, that's a very important point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's unfortunate that, I think we really need to make greater efforts to build more renewable. I mean, I know they're doing that right now.
Yeah.
More renewable resources, renewable energy, relying more on renewable energy than natural gas and fossil fuels. Considering what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
And
so when you talk about remedy, right, does this just seem like something we're just going to have to suck up until all this renewable energy that we're putting in place is stood up and contributing to our power grid?
That's a long-term solution. The short-term solution is the relief from these additional fundings that we have currently.
70 million, right? Is
I
what?
think,
And so, what do you think? So the governor forked out 15 million to stave off the last big rate increase. That worked, right? Have you had any conversation with her? Do you have any idea of 70 million? That's a big chunk.
That is a big chunk. But I mean, our people are suffering. So I think we really need to, provide that relief. Of course, we can't continue to depend on that, because that can't be, that's not a sustainable solution.
Right. Yeah.
So we really need to look at, aggressively pursuing these renewable energy solutions.
But I totally agree.
The other thing too I want to add is the project list on for GWA. There's something called the revolving loan fund. So GWA wants to set up a fund so that people want to hook up to the sewer system. They can get a really low interest loan to do that, and so that's something to look out for once it's approved.
Does this have anything to do with I remember there was that issue with the septic tanks and constructions of houses and the realtors, or is this a separate issue?
It could be related,
Okay.
as long as the house is close, I think within 200 feet of a main sewer line. But the other issue that my office is looking at is adopting alternative solutions. So I know septic tanks. There's issues with septic tanks and increasing, causing an increase to the nitrate levels in our aquifer, which can lead to a condition called methemoglobinemia, which sorry, I know it's a big word.
No. You got nitrates. I know that's a lot of smoked meats have that.
Yeah, so there are regulations that if it goes above a certain level, can cause health conditions that affect one's ability to breathe, basically, or to take in their oxygen properly. So what we really need to do is take a look at these alternative solutions, and even Bill Gates has but he puts his money behind some of these inventions that can really reduce the amount of nitrates and pathogens. So there are going to be more, I think, commercial solutions out there that are affordable and also protect our aquifer as well.
I wanted to ask, because you had, I don't know if it was a bill, but it was relative to lifeline rate waterworks customers. Remember we talked about this, about
Yes.
waterworks subsidizing repairs? Was that what it was?
Yeah, so Bill 266, what that does, it would allow GWA to assist with private property owners that have leaks on their side.
Right.
So right now they only can work on repairing leaks on the public side.
Right.
And so what this bill would do, it would allow for that to happen. And I'm still pursuing that. I know just need to put in language that basically gives the PUC still the control, which is what currently is in law. I think I potentially can create or continue to put that on the floor.
Yeah, because what I hear a lot of when it happens, a lot of it is on the public side. The waterworks old pipes will affect the state of the water on the private side.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true. And in fact, there's reports that even if there's lead involved, it can exacerbate the lead in the drinking water. So if there's lead lines, old lead pipes that are transporting water into the home, it can exacerbate that condition too.
Procurement, anything with procurement?
Yeah, so we're getting some complaints about processing of purchase orders. So that's something that I
What
need
kind of
to-
complaints?
Well,
Juicy?
well, just part of it is that, of course, the staffing is pretty low at GSA, and
They don't have LTAs?
not that I can see.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's been issues with processing of purchase orders on a timely basis. So yeah, I'll need to get more information on that one.
Right. As your bill with the 3 positive quotes, do you think that'll impact that process?
No, this one was related to. So I passed legislation to tighten the requirements for sole source.
Right.
And so that didn't take effect till March of 2021, I believe. And so there was a sole source procurement that was done prior to that, and so there was purchase orders that are not being processed. Yeah, so that was one issue with that. But as far as small purchases, I think that's really important to have more transparency.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, 50,000 without competitive bidding process.
A lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For just services and supplies. 100,000 for construction. I mean, I think at that point it's already. I mean, that's what's currently in law.
Yeah.
I don't think we should increase the threshold. They should basically there's something called indefinite quantity bids, and so if an agency doesn't necessarily know how much they need, they can still do a competitive bid and get what they need, as well as be very transparent and foster competition.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to ask about rev and tax, but I feel like no complaints.
Yeah, no updates at this point. I haven't heard.
As long as those tax refund releases keep coming out, we're good, right?
Yes, and I think the speaker pointed out this is one of the amendments that she made in the budget bill,
Right.
to prioritize any of the surplus funds to go towards tax refunds. So
Right.
yes, so I really very grateful for that. Forward thinking.
Labor, any update?
Labor, still working on pre-apprenticeship, still focusing on that. It's great to see that Guam Department of Education included that in their latest strategic plan.
Wow.
They have a target for apprenticeships.
What types of apprenticeships? Because I know we have the culinary, right? Is that what you would consider an apprenticeship? What other types of apprenticeships and what types of fields do we have existing?
So GCC, I think currently in the high schools they have about I think 7 different trades.
Wow.
So nursing, carpentry, automotive, electronics, hospitality, culinary. I may be missing something, but I think we can expand upon that.
Is
model.
there engineering?
I don't think specifically engineering, but I believe in Teeds and High, they've been also doing other things like technology. So I think they've actually graduated. They were able to, they've been very successful in that program because there are companies that are hiring those students.
Wow.
And I believe they're expanding it. Teeds and High has been very proactive about expanding those programs, and I think we can expand it even further because if you could consider, just by looking at the government too as well,
Right.
there's basically a good percentage of the population that's going to retire, and so I think I see an opportunity.
Right.
Specifically like with Guam EPA, GSA, I see there's shortages in a lot of these positions, and we need qualified individuals to be in those positions. So I see opportunities that we can start these trainings within the school system, and so once they graduate, they have a job, and as well as work towards improving their skills.
So much sense you're talking now, Senator. I wanted to ask though, have you ever taken a look at how successful these programs are, like with the statistics in terms of how many kids are in these apprenticeships, how many of them actually get jobbed up at the end?
Yeah, so this is something that GCC has been working on. I think one of the things is there's been very a difficult apprenticeships are difficult because you have to go to school and work at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the pre-apprenticeship program is going to help. And what they're seeing is that they are successful in the pre-apprenticeship
Is
programs.
this outside of high school?
Yes, so this would
Okay.
be like GCC boot camps.
Right.
That's kind of like a synonym for it.
Yeah.
And they're seeing much more success when there's pre-apprenticeships tied to apprenticeship programs.
So you would take your apprenticeship in high school and then graduate high school into a pre-apprenticeship program, and then in a perfect world, from there you would go pipeline to the workforce.
So actually the pre-apprenticeship would start in the high school.
I see.
And then when they graduate, they can be paid for the job. And basically it's a pipeline into the apprenticeship program.
Right, yeah, this is great. I mean, Senator, I support what you're doing. I feel like you're one of these senators, like you got a good head on your shoulders. The work you do, at the end of the day, not necessarily the sexiest work. It's procurement. it's apprenticeships, right? It's open pit burning. It's the environment. But I feel like you're needed in the legislature. And
thank you so much, Chris. That means a lot to me.
You're welcome. But as my last day is tomorrow, and you also, it's been a happy coincidence that you chair a lot of the committees that I feel like people definitely we got to know about the environment. We got to know about labor, procurement, revenue, and tax. So I feel like we've been able to build a good relationship here, going back to containing COVID and also on the link. And so, I want to wish you good luck. Have you filed?
Not yet.
Okay, but are you seeking re-election?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
well, good luck with that, Senator.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. And I look forward to, helping out. I do want to serve the public, continue to serve with the knowledge that I've gained. And it's by design I picked these agencies
Right.
because I wanted to help out. And I've learned a lot, and I want to continue to help out.
You've done a lot of great things with procurement. Like I said, again, not the sexiest stuff, right? But it does make an impact. And I think one of the recurring thoughts that you've put out here on the show is when you tighten up the procurement, that saves money. And at the end of the day, that money saved can go to where, important things that are needed. That being said, looking at some of the things you've been able to accomplish this term, like what are you thinking about for the next if you get that opportunity?
Well, there's always more. Like I said, it's like an onion. When you peel one layer, there's more under it, and so there's a lot more work to do. Definitely, you know, a lot of the laws we have still need updating,
Right.
and I've been, you know, working at it pretty consistently. Also to help build the resiliency of our community, you know, strengthen our laws so that it protects our island.
Right.
I think that's really critical.
Thank you, Senator. Anything in closing?
No, I just want to wish you well, and yeah, we'll definitely miss you. I know must be hard for you to say goodbye.
I'm not crying. You talked about onions, and I got a little choked up, but I'm not. No, we're done.
Yeah, but I do. Yeah, I want to thank you, and thank you to the audience for all your help and contributions too. My door's always open, willing to help out.
Thank you, Senator.
All right, to do Masi.
There you go. Hagamos, Senator
Thank
Sabina
you.
Perez, 7:50. Senator Tello Tidigui's next. Like I said, we're going bipartisan this morning because that's just the kind of show this is. And we'll take a quick break and come back with Republican Senator Tello Tidigui next, right here on the link, which is brought to you by Cabo Enterprises, IT&E, Jack in the Box, and Mount Carmel School in Hoggett.
Rugby Union presents Youth Festival Edition. Now